Hello YouTube. The Soviet Union has its own variety of Men in Black, an organization that investigated cases related to visits to Earth by aliens and UFOs. However, unlike Hollywood, our agents were not secret but quite official, called the Commission on Anomalous Phenomena of the Russian Geographical Society of the Soviet and later Russian Academy of Sciences. And instead of fantastic technologies in each individual case, they relied on common sense, rationality, and scientific approach. I want to remind my listeners and audience that here I am not speaking about the operations of the top secret Soviet military/academic UFO research program called Setka. It had other names too during its existence, 13 years and some more after it officially ended. I described its work and discoveries known to me and other civilian researchers in other videos about Soviet ufology. No, today I want to again look at a different entity and provide more details. Despite all ostentatious materialism, interest in the paranormal phenomena in the USSR was very strong. So back in the 1970s, under Brezhnev, the Commission on Anomalous Phenomena came to be in Leningrad, and it was on the basis of the Russian Geographical Society. The Commission areas of interest included everything that could not be explained by traditional science, from UFOs to poltergeists. This Commission on Anomalous Phenomena of the Russian Geographical Society of the Soviet Academy of Sciences existed between 1980 to 2014. I have been in open contact with some Soviet ufologists since 1991 and in other types of contact before. So I knew about this commission, and later I became acquainted with some of its members. The Commission on Anomalous Phenomena of the Russian Geographical Society was organized in 1980 by the efforts of enthusiasts, researchers of unidentified flying objects, poltergeists, and other anomalous phenomena in the environment. The Commission conducted research in the following areas: history of civilization and paleo contacts, better known in the West as ancient alien hypothesis. And I'm proud to say that our Soviet scientists and researchers had been investigating this hypothesis well before anyone outside the Soviet borders. Also, problems of astronomy and astrophysics and anomalous phenomena. Interviewing eyewitnesses of anomalous phenomena and their study. They were working on to create a so-called systematization, to work out a process how to do it properly. They were also conducting research on bioenergetic aspects of the issue or problem of anomalous phenomena. History, religion, and the problem of anomalous phenomena, military aspect of the UFO problem, etc. After more than 30 years research activities in the Commission on Anomalous Phenomena, it had acquired experience, study, first of all, of unidentified flying objects. It created an archive of observations of anomalous phenomena. This is like saying paranormal phenomena in English. But Russians use that word. They developed techniques of questioning witnesses and criteria for the reliability of the information. The Commission had conducted instrumental studies of the landings of UFOs in various regions and using various devices, primarily in the northwest Russia. And it also developed a methodology of research, and there had been philosophical evaluation of the achieved results. The commission consisted mainly of military people, and almost all with high ranks, And that's according to the Russian ufologist and former chairman of the Leningrad Ufological Commission, Mikhail Gerstein. I know Mikhail now for over 20 years, and I believe that he is the best UFO researcher in Russia today. Mikhail mentioned in an interview with Russian media that the activities of the Commission, associates or members, they were not exactly classified. Rather, it is simply all this activity was not brought to the general public of the Soviet Union. Now, the meetings were closed to foreign participants, of course, in the Soviet Union, and the reports were often stamped with a signature stamp saying for office use only. Soviet and later Russian scientists, academicians, professors, and candidates of sciences also worked as part of the commission. For almost 30 years, they had conducted several hundred expeditions and interviewed probably thousands of eyewitnesses, recalled Gerstein. 9 times out of 10, there was nothing really strange about their stories. People could mistake anything for a UFO, from an airplane flying with its lights on to the planet Venus. But still, there was always the 1 in 10 lucky case. And sometimes it happened so that the impression of an encounter with the unknown redeemed everything, and then some. For example, in the years 1989 to 1993, in the Frunzensky district of Leningrad, in the village of Farforovsky Post, people encountered huge 2 and sometimes 3 meter tall dark figures without faces. They all said, those eyewitnesses, that the figures were moving, either walking, but as if their legs did not bend at the knees, or they were floating in the air. Those aliens showed no hostility to humans. As a rule, they were just nearby humans. In 5 years, he said, Mikhail, we've had maybe 8 or 10 reports of meetings with them, and from people who are not that they are not related to each other in any way, but did not know each other at all, according to Mikhail. And once one of the eyewitnesses saw these creatures come out of a flying saucer that landed on a vacant lot near the village. So Mikhail Gerstein went to the place himself. He traveled there. He followed the route where the black or dark figures were most often seen, and try to find a tree, a bush, or some pipe that in the dark could be mistaken for a human silhouette outline. But he didn't find anything, and Mikhail is a very tenacious researcher. Gerstein also knows firsthand about the so-called extraterrestrial implants, foreign objects that were inexplicably found in human bodies. One scientist injured his hand at the dacha, country home, and when he went for an X-ray, a foreign metal body was found in his hand. The doctor thought it was a fragment from some mine or shell. However, it turned out that no mines or shells were near the scientist, of course, and nothing exploded recently or at any time. It didn't look like a shard, but rather a metal seed, smooth and rounded at the edges. Such stories, according to Gerstein, are found in the media for at least the last few decades. Almost always, people who talk about this phenomenon they experience blackouts, so that scientists many years before all the events was traveling on a train and at some point seemed to lose conscience, fainted, and woke up 2 hours later in a completely different train car. The money and personal belongings were still with him. Nobody took anything. I'm speaking about that scientist and that foreign object that was in his body. Now, the Russian researcher mentioned that ufologists believe such implants can be used as tracking devices. Unfortunately, that scientist categorically refused to remove the strange object from his hand, and soon after he passed away. Of course, the Commission's powers extended not only to Leningrad and the Leningrad region. For example, a report dated March 12, 1984, reported a case in the village of Karasan-Utес in the Crimea, Soviet Ukraine. The three boys found a 3-meter tall metal disc, or 3-meter long metal disc, in a brushy hollow with a black spot in the center that looked like a rocket nozzle. Through the transparent lid, you could see the outlines of some devices and winking red lights. The students tried to get closer, but a few meters away they seemed to run into an invisible wall. In the evening of the next day, the boys told about the finding to the two military cadets that they knew. Those cadets, being Soviet-bred people, conducted an educational conversation with the boys on the subject of materialism and rationalism, and decided to visit the place where the alien guest was discovered. So the cadets did not find the device itself, but they found deep dents in the ground, left by its telescopic legs, bushes broken by some massive object, and a circle of burned grass located exactly in the place where the nozzle was located. Immediately, the materialism of the cadets gave way, and the experts of the Commission on Anomalous Phenomena were dispatched to that location. They too could not find rational explanations for what they observed, and therefore decided to consider the incident a manifestation of UFOs. Another case with the involvement of UFOs occurred in Karelia, recalled Mikhail Gerstein. In 1928, a local resident observed in the area of Lake Vedlozero, presumably the crash of an alien ship. The object went over the edge of the forest but did not come back up. Since then, on the banks of the Vedlozero, people began to meet strange creatures. The locals called them water people and described them as smaller copies of snowmen. At some point, the military became interested in this. According to Gerstein, a whole expedition had been sent to the area, and they were trying to find something on its bottom using special equipment and with the help of radioacoustic buoys. Unfortunately, this did not give any results, or maybe it did, but the results were immediately classified. I want you to remember, those who read my books, about the strange cases throughout the Soviet Union in 1984, about invisible walls that were encountered elsewhere, and of course about the Karelia and North Russian regions, especially Leningrad. I have a whole chapter in my books about it, because fascinating things had been taking place in that whole area. And also, you can see my video about the Monchegorsk object. Anyway, but right now we're speaking about the Commission. So, well, already by the beginning of the year 2000, the Ufological Commission associates or members, they came to be so-called fairly battered by time. They were just becoming old. And most of the scientists of the old guard passed away, and there was almost no fresh blood to supply the membership. By the year 2013, there was only one participant in the commission, and it was Mikhail Gerstein. Of course, it was a shame, but he thinks that he has had enough of the anomalous and paranormal in his life. In 30 years of work, Gerstein has clearly understood one thing: there are many unknown, strange, incomprehensible things in the universe that are still incomprehensible to the human mind. But he is sure that sooner or later we will reach a level of development that will allow us, if not to study these things from the beginning, to at least to come closer to understanding them. Now, let's listen to what another commission member or associate had to say. It was the deputy chairman of the Commission on Anomalous Phenomena of the Russian Geographical Society, Captain First Rank, Soviet Navy, Yevgeny Litvinov. He was interviewed by Russian media back in 2010. I must add that his views may be controversial to some, but his knowledge of the Soviet, Russian, and international underwater submersible objects phenomenon is phenomenal. I have studied his findings and his tremendous research work. Litvinov served with honor in the Soviet Navy. He served at secret facilities and aboard submarines, and has keen access, at least had it, years ago. Anyway, the captain was asked the following: Evgeny Petrovich, why did you and your colleagues believe in aliens? And he said that after comparing facts received from residents of different parts of our planet, all of them agree on one thing. All the people inhabiting the Earth in ancient times had so-called paleo contacts with representatives of more highly developed civilizations. There are more than 20,000 pieces of evidence of direct or indirect influence that aliens have on our lives in our files. That was his response. So he was asked, where do you get your information from? And he said, from the press, from secret military archives too. Sometimes we organize an exhibition in St. Petersburg, that's the name of Leningrad, the name today and before. During the event, visitors come up to us and tell us their unique stories. As pertaining to contacts with aliens, Litvinov would like to believe that we are treated humanely, but we must face the truth. And here is what he stated. Analyzing the information we have accumulated only on contacts with extraterrestrials, we have 6,000 messages and more than 2,500 cases related to kidnapping. We have come to the conclusion that the civilizations that somehow affect our lives are of three types: loyal to us humans, about 20%, neutral 60%, and aggressive 20%. If we put the neutral closer to the aggressive, that is, those that have some selfish interest in humanity, it turns out that humans should be afraid of the 80% of the aliens. And as for alien abductions, in 90 cases of such kidnappings or abductions, people reported that they had been thoroughly sanitized and medically examined. Perhaps this is necessary for the study of human species, but it is possible that some of their doctors zombify, make zombies of, or do worse things. They insert chips, implants, for subsequent manipulation of human beings. Any civilization is interested in the presence of its agents on an alien planet. So he was asked, it turns out that any alien can do with us whatever they want to, and there is no control over it. Litvinov replied that this was correct, but the commission exists to gradually eliminate our illiteracy in relation to representative of other civilizations. And commission associates were always trying to develop at least some safety techniques. The Russian captain warned that first of all people need to know, if a ship or vessel or an alien has manifested in front of you, you should not in any case scream or yell. All this according to the stories of people who have been in such situations, turned into numbness or amnesia for them. It is good if the memory loss is temporary, but it happens that uninvited guests erase memories completely of people impacted, including information about the name, place of residence, and professional skills. Second, contact with aliens is not welcome. The entire initiative should be as follows. Only they have, if they need to, they will come into contact with you, but if not, turn around and run away. When they try to talk to you, you must ask, who are you? Where from? Why do you need me? Loyal aliens must often respond kindly, tell about their good mission. Aggressors can refuse to contact you and they just leave. Third, if you can, try not to think about bad things. The aliens are able to read human minds. After all, thoughts are nothing but certain waves that are a means of communication for the entire universe. We think in images, and sometimes before we have formed a verbal version of it, we can get an instant reaction from the aliens. By the way, these waves can transmit information to humans, as if talking to humans in the same images, and humans can see them as if in a dream. Isn't that the way some artists and musicians get their genius to start working? Litvinov said that he was afraid that we humans will not know all the details of their alien communication with us humans for a long time. Even the Soviet cosmonaut German Titov said that it is impossible for us Earthlings to understand the logic of aliens. And I urge you again to look at some of my look at my videos about cosmonauts. You can look at all of them. You will learn quite a lot about Soviet cosmonauts who were not afraid to speak out, and the incredible knowledge they possessed, like Pavel Popovich, about ancient aliens operating on our Earth. And we don't know where that knowledge came from, and I explained it in the videos. I think you'll like them. Now, Litvinov was asked on occasions, but why can't they, aliens, train us humans? Why can't they raise us to their level? And he responded, perhaps we are as far from them in development as the simplest insects are from us. Try explaining to an ant why you are moving its nest out of the way, or why you have pinned down half a dozen of his or its fellows, friends, who tickled your heel when you were sitting by the fire. The ant will not understand you for sure. This is how the higher civilizations are. It is good if they're loyal, that is, that they behave carefully with us, but there are aggressive and neutral ones, and Litvinov reminded people that there are probably many more of them than of the good ones. It does not cost them anything to kill humans, to crush like small insects. Their plans are unknown to us because they do not engage in conversations with people, but mainly use people for some research or introduction of their agents into terrestrial society. Probably loyal and aggressive civilizations are fighting for planet Earth at the highest level, according to him. Whoever wins will establish their own rules here. We have a little information about who lives in what parts of the universe. So loyal aliens came to humans, according to Litvinov, from the constellation of Canis Major and Taurus, and the neutral ones from the constellations of Reticulum, Centauri, Cygnus, Libra, and Andromeda. And then, of course, there's the Orion constellation, and that's where the aggressive ones came from. Litvinov was asked, if you believe in the existence of UFOs, you probably should have been the first to establish contact with them. But he responded that he doesn't want to do that. If they had to, they would have contacted us humans long ago. And in general, practice shows that everyone who did establish such contact left this life early, that is, passed away. Captain Litvinov, despite his advanced age, did not want to go to the other world yet, or to leave this planet. When some news people in Russia try to make fun of the Russian Navy captain who doesn't shy away from his beliefs, they were told by representative of the society the following: the Geographical Society is called to discuss all sorts of theories, even such fantastic ones as Litvinov's theories. If there are specialists, scientists, who can refute the theory of the members of the Commission on anomalous phenomena, the Russian Geographical Society is waiting for their letters and invites them to meetings that take place once a month according to the approved plan. Well, that was years ago. You know, I am proud that I have been able to describe the UFO research that had existed in the USSR and its tumultuous history. The Soviet research was unique due to the constraints of the totalitarian society. But there had been fascinating cases. Check out my books and videos. I did my best to help bridges many years ago and introduce Western audiences to Soviet ufology. And I was shocked when certain individuals in the West immediately attacked my work as if in panic, and they were panicked about information that is being brought forth from the USSR or the former Soviet Union, because obviously there are people who don't want bridges to be built and information exchange on civilian level. Anyway, this is everything that I told you today. A lot of it is now history. The USSR disintegrated and new realities now exist where a unique country existed for almost 70 years. And that in turn, after another country, the Russian Empire, disintegrated after hundreds of years. Look, I know that there is active research, for example, in Ukraine today, and that there are still civilian researchers in modern Russia, the younger generation. And as for military UFO research in modern Russia, we'll talk about it more some other time. And there is still more to bring in the very unique history of Soviet UFO research. If you can support my research, I ask you to please do so. You can see the links in the descriptions to this video, and I'll try to bring you more stories soon. Thank you.